Good evening everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Retro Plymouth Gamers on the road. In the previous episodes you've seen me have a look at various different retro bits and pieces that I've picked up while out and about. I've picked up a few bits and pieces at car boot sales, at charity shops, the occasional online find as well, and local game shops. So in this particular episode I'm going to apologise straight away because this is a very Sega heavy episode that I'm filming here, and I've picked up quite a lot of retro Sega games this week, and ranging from Master System to Saturn, a bit 32X as well. So I will show you what I've bought and sort of the conditions that things are in as well, so you can see exactly sort of what is out and about in the vicinity. These finds this time, I've cheated a little bit because actually I've bought most of these from CEX's website online. I had a voucher that I needed to spend with them anyway, so I'm still in that Saturn mood at the minute. So I've been buying Saturn games like they're going out of fashion. Originally I needed to sell my Saturn collection off, and I did say to myself that I wasn't going to start collecting for it again, but here we are, buying Saturn games, UK ones again. So I was just going to keep buying Japanese ones, but no, I've gone back to UK ones again. I should have known this really, because I know what I'm like. But let's start with what I've got on the Master System. I got myself, for quite cheap, a copy of Putt and Putter. I remember this being reviewed back in Mean Machine Sega a long time ago. It looked alright to me, relatively fun. I picked this up, I think, for including the postage CX, because they charge £1.50 now for every single item you order. I think this was £1.50 and then £1.50 on top, so £3 for an unboxed copy. I'm not really going to groan at that. I'm going to give it a shot anyway, see what it's like. I don't really have that many Master System games, so I'm trying to build up a collection of unboxed ones if I can. So I've got that. Another unboxed game I got is the Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck. I really like this game, and I remember my time working for Game Station, this was always one of the Master System games that was horrendously expensive. A box copy of this used to be £10. So I managed to pick this up for, again, I think like £3.50, £4, something like that. So again, I do want to play it, I do like it. I've already got sort of an experience with this game, so yeah, it's one that's going to go in the collection quite nicely, I think. Then I also got, seeing as my machine has Alex Kidd built into it, I bought a cartridge version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, you see a lot of copies of Sonic 2, Sonic Chaos as well, you see quite often, but this one here, you don't really see that on cartridge too often, because many of the Master Systems that came out in this country at least had Sonic built into them. There weren't that many that had Alex Kidd built in. They're mostly Sonic machines. So I've got one of the Alex Kidd ones. I've had it for absolutely donkey's years, I think since about 2003 or something like that. So having Sonic the Hedgehog seemed like a logical step for me. Again, it was cheap as chips. You have that one there. I ordered an unboxed copy of Kung Fu Kid, and they actually sent me a boxed copy of the game. Now, usually I'd be quite pleased with getting a boxed copy of something, but I don't actually have any other boxed Master System games. I don't really want this to spur on me now collecting boxed Master System games, because again, that does sound like something I would do now that I have one. So I was actually trying to avoid having boxed Master System games in my collection. Many years ago I had quite a few boxed Master System games. I had a couple of stacks full of them, but now I've only got cartridge based versions, and I was hoping to kind of keep it that way. But this particular copy is almost immaculate. It's got the booklet with it. Cartridge is pretty much unmarked. The box is very good as well. It's got a little tab on the top. It was cheap, like £3 all in. I've got a 32X game. Again, CEX messed this up a little bit because I asked for an unboxed PAL version of Virtua Racing on 32X. What I actually got instead was a Super 32X boxed version of Virtua Racing, which doesn't actually work in the UK. So unless you've got an import 32X, this game will not play. They region coded the games. Thanks for that, Sega. So it's in good nick though. I mean, it's got the cartridge, it's got the little egg capture box in there. It's got the booklet and precautions manuals as well. So that's pretty good. Again, if I was after Japanese 32X games, I'd be a whooping and hollering right about now, but I'm not. So I'll probably end up putting this one back on eBay and then ordering another copy through CEX's website, because I've still got a little bit of my credit note left. So that was my finds for the older Sega systems. So moving on to Saturn stuff now, I decided to mix mostly common titles to get, because I wanted to build up a library pretty quickly. So I got a copy of Daytona USA, the original edit of it, rather than the Championship Circuit edition. This one here is quite common, see it quite often, it's not expensive, and I think this copy, excluding post, was £5 and maybe £6.50 with the postage included. Now it's in good condition. A lot of people call it the CEX lottery, really, with what you're going to get when the items arrive, and a few of the games are going to go back, but I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, it's got the booklet in there, it's got disc. The disc has no disc rot on it, so I'm pleased. The sleeve is held up very well, which is quite rare for Saturn games. Then I purchased Destruction Derby. It's not a particularly good port on the Saturn, but it's one of those games that is disappearing slowly but surely. Psygnosis siding obviously with Sony and then eventually being bought out by them as well meant that there weren't that many Psygnosis releases on the Saturn, although they did pretty well with releasing Wipeout 2097 and this game as well. Again, the booklet's in lovely condition. The disc is also very, very good on this, and the box is held together very, very nicely. So, one happy chappy here. Ultra common game alert, Sega Rally. Now, pretty much every Saturn owner has this, and I actually do have a Japanese copy of Sega Rally Championship Plus. But this I don't have. I don't have a UK copy of it anymore, and I thought it was worth picking up. This copy is in very, very good condition, has the booklet with it. It's got a nice condition disc as well. None of these games here have any disc rot on them, which is good. The box is held up very, very well with only light marking on it, so they sent me a pretty decent copy there. Next up is Doom, which is a really, really rubbish port on the Saturn, and this was quite an expensive one. I think this was about $18.50 all in, but it's getting difficult to get. On eBay there's a lot of empty boxes for this game, but when you see it bidding, it's usually around about 25 to 30 quid that it seems to land on. That's how much people want for it anyway. But it's in very, very good condition. It's got your registration card in there, the manual's good, the disc is very, very good, so I'll be sure to keep it that way. So there's that one there. Next up is Steep Slope Sliders, which is quite a late release for Saturn. This came out in 1997, maybe early 98 in this country. It's I think by JVC did this game. It's not a very, very good game. The graphics are pretty poor on it, even for how late it came out on the Saturn. But I quite like getting late games for the Saturn anyway, so I decided to have a little punt on this one, and it wasn't terribly expensive. I think it was under 10 quid all in. Booklet's nice, the disc is very good, and it's got a nice late Saturn games advertisement card in there. Next up we have a staple in pretty much everyone's Saturn collection, Sonic Jam. Many people didn't really have much choice when it came to 3D Sonic games. You had Sonic R, Sonic 3D, and this. This has got a nice little Sonic game world in it, which you have like sort of 3D sections you can go into. That's pretty cool. This game I really do like on Saturn, because although it's old Mega Drive games, the Sonic the Hedgehog 1 conversion allows for the spin dash, which really, really sort of aids the game. So they actually went back and modified the game engine slightly with that. Again, all complete, good condition, nice booklet, nice disc, so pleased as punch. Command & Conquer by Electronic Arts. This is the days when Electronic Arts used to support Sega, and this is a good conversion of it, and a really enjoyable game. I've always got time for this. It comes on 2 discs on Saturn as well. However, there's a little bit of damage on the case at the top here, but I wanted to forgive that really, because the rest of it is in pretty darn good condition, and I plan on sitting down and playing this game at some point anyway, so I don't really want to send it back. I've got a few that I do need to send back, as I'll go into in a second. Next up is Sonic Racing on the Saturn. I actually quite enjoyed this game, quite a guilty pleasure. There's only about 4 or 5 levels on the game, and a few extra characters to unlock when you get all the Chaos Emeralds and the secrets paths that you've got to take. Quite a late release for Saturn, 1997 this was. and it was quite expensive. This, I think it was 15 quid. They've since put it up on their website. I think it's maybe closer to about £18 now, but very good condition copy, and will sit nicely in my collection. Another common as muck one, Virtua Fighter, the original one. I've got Virtua Fighter Remix already on the Saturn. I also have Virtua Fighter 2 as Japanese, but I don't have Virtua Fighter 1. I don't really, I usually skip over it, to be honest, because it's aged really, really badly, this game. But for the sake of, you should have it if you're a Saturn owner. Sega Rally and Virtua Fighter are the two things you definitely should have. This copy is in good condition. The disc has managed to dislodge itself. They do, but yeah, it's in good condition. The manual's there. The disc is good condition as well. For an early game for Saturn, that's not too bad. Next up, you've got Tunnel B1, which I quite enjoyed this game on the PlayStation 1. I've never played the Saturn version of it. I don't collect PS1 games, so it's a natural progression that I would buy the Saturn version of it. It's a very dark and dingy tunnel-based shooter. Myself and Mike have always quite enjoyed it. Got a lot of time for it. This copy here again, got the booklet. He's got the manual. He's in good nick, ticks all the right boxes. You've got virtual Hydlide possibly, Hydlide, I don't know, but I never owned this game originally on the Saturn, and I've seen it a few times. It looks like absolute arse. It hasn't aged well at all. Bloody awful looking game. I think it plays awful as well, but all the booklets there. The CD's in there. It was £8, and it does more money on eBay than it does getting it from CEX. So I can't grumble really. What else have we got here? We've got Myst on the Sega Saturn. I enjoy this game. Just having sort of an aimless wander around is quite chilled really. You don't really have to do that much. It's all of the days of first-person full motion video games, which were quite common around sort of 93 to 96. So it's a bit late to the party on the Saturn by this point, but it is a competent port. It's not a terrible game. This has also got the booklet and the disc in there as well. It's in good nick. The box is also in good condition as well. SimCity 2000, simulation based game, another PC port, quite early on, around 1995-96. And this was the first, and I think last time that SimCity game was on a Sega format. The SNES were quite lucky because it had two SimCity games in its time, whereas Sega only had one. It was on the Saturn. It's a decent game, plays pretty well. It's the precursor to the Sim series, so that's all in there. I think I had to stick the box back together for this game because the cardboard had come away from the actual plastic like they do with these earlier boxes, so I super glued it all back into place, and it's sat quite nicely now. Other than that, it was in immaculate condition. Athlete Kings. I was quite lucky with this because I was kind of hoping they were going to send me the plastic later box one, because this comes either in these sort of boxes or in the plastic boxes, and yeah, they sent me the plastic box version, so I won the CEX lottery of that one. It's in good nick. It's got a nice games advertisement brochure of the time. The booklet's a little bit dog-eared, but it's in there, so that is always a plus. From my own employer, I got The Lost World Jurassic Park. This was £10, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdoms just recently come out, so I thought it was quite topical to get this game. This one here is in very, very good condition. It's got the manual in there, discs in good nick as well, so it's held up pretty well. Yeah, it's not bad at all, that one. And the last but not least, what I got was Fable the Journey on the Xbox 360. I was just randomly in WH Smith's, found this for £2 and thought I'll give it a go, and it's sealed, brand new, so for £2 I'm not going to argue with that. It's seldomly seen game, I don't see it very often anymore. I don't think it sold that well in the first place, but I added it to my collection, so there it is. So yeah, that's basically all my finds for this week. Tune in to next week and I'll show you what else I've got. I've got a few Sega Saturn games that are heading back to CEX, and I'll cover them in the next show once I've got them replaced for copies that have manuals or in better condition CDs. So I'll catch you on the flip side of that. See you next time.